Why did Beyonce and Jay-Z buy an $88 million home with a mortgage? They're worth $1.8 billion. Shouldn't they just pay with cash?
Prices for Beyonce's highly anticipated Cowboy Carter tour are dropping a lot. Just months ago, a fan could expect to spend up to $800 for a pre-sale ticket to the opening night in the tour in Los Angeles. But hours before the concert, tickets had dipped to as low as $57.
What if I told you Beyonce and Jay-Z just took out a $57 million loan and they're billionaires? Oh yes, you heard that right. America's most powerful celebrity couple borrowed $57.75 million, using their Bel Air mega mansion as collateral. But wait a minute, this isn't their first loan, is it? They already owe $52.8 million to Goldman Sachs from a previous deal, which means their total debt on that mansion, over $110 million.
Time now for a big story making waves in the music world. It looks like all the single ladies are staying home as Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour, it is struggling to sell out.
Billionaire Jay-Z might be in some hot water. Word on the street is that some of his recent money moves are raising serious questions. And not just quiet whispers, people are straight up talking. Is Jay-Z and Beyonce's empire starting to crack? Is that why Beyonce's been working like crazy, hitting city after city? She just wrapped a 4-day tour in Atlanta, and that's not even counting all her new projects she's been pushing out. Fans are starting to wonder what's really going on behind those closed mansion doors. The real buzz kicked off after it came out that Jay and Bey took out a massive mortgage, $57.75 million, on their $88 million Bel Air mansion. This move shot their total debt on the place up to a jaw-dropping $110 million. And that's shocking, considering the couple's net worth is a combined $3 billion. Yes, billion with a B. They copped that Bel Air property back in 2017, but people are side-eyeing why they decided to keep it after buying a new $200 million Malibu home, reportedly the most expensive home in California, and all bought in straight cash. Now, why hold on to both? Apparently, they see Bel Air as more of a home base, mostly because it's close to the kids' schools. Makes sense. But here's the kicker. By hanging on to the Bel Air spot, they've locked themselves into another massive 30-year loan with a 5% interest rate for the first decade. That means monthly payments of $310,000 just on that house. And don't forget, they already had a previous mortgage taken out 4 years ago, $52.8 million through Goldman Sachs at 3.5%, with payments of $226,000 a month. Now do the math, that's over $500,000 every month just in home loans. That's why folks are raising their eyebrows high. This isn't just some casual property play, it's serious cash tied up. What's really going on with the Carters? $226,901 a month just on one mortgage. That's wild. Now, maybe Jay-Z and Beyonce are playing some smart money game, like using the cash from this mortgage to flip investments that bring in more than the 5% interest they're paying. But even if that's the plan, it doesn't change the fact that they borrowed a jaw-dropping $110 million. And guess what? That ain't even all their expenses. Stack on the property taxes, which run about $1.2 million a year. That's another $100,000 flying out the door every month, and that's before you even count the cost of staff, security, chefs, housekeepers, or even keeping up the estate itself. Right now, the couple's monthly housing bill, including mortgages and taxes, is sitting at a mind-blowing $637,000. That's more than most folks make in a whole decade, and folks are seriously confused about what's going on. First, they borrowed $52.8 million to buy their Bel Air spot. Then they refinanced it in 2021 with Goldman Sachs, still for $52.8 million. And just this past April, they added a brand new loan on top of that, another $57.75 million. That's a second massive mortgage. What really has people shook is the fact that the same couple dropped $200 million in straight cash to buy a Malibu mansion, setting a California record at the time. So how does that make sense? You drop cash like that for one home, then turn around and go deep into debt for the other? It's got people asking all kinds of questions. Are they juggling cash flow issues? Are they shifting strategies? Or is this their version of broke, where assets are high but cash is tight?
Jay-Z and Beyonce bought a $200 million house in California, in Malibu.
They're saying they paid all cash for it too.
They acting their wage.
The cash thing, that's not exactly like a real thing. What most people in this circumstance do, and I didn't know this until recently, this was even an option, and this is how like people with high net worth can really have a huge advantage. You can take a loan out on your assets, use that loan, that line of credit as cash, buy the property, and then refinance it into a mortgage. So you get all your money back. Oh, shit. So you pay off that loan and now you have a mortgage. So that's how a lot of rich people would pay all cash for things without actually taking their money out of the stock market or taking their money out of the investments where it's already in. I never understood it. When I would see these people in New York buying their homes all cash, I'm like, who has all this fucking money to just buy cash? But it's lines of credit against their assets. And that's how you don't take all your money out of Google or Apple or whatever stocks you have your money in.
Whatever the reason, refinancing and layering debt like this has people raising red flags left and right. Because when you take out a second mortgage like that, you're definitely stacking on some serious financial pressure. Anytime you stack more debt on top of what you already owe, you're putting yourself in a risky spot, and people are noticing. If something goes sideways financially and you can't keep up with the payments, things can spiral fast. One major risk with home equity loans or lines of credit is simple. If you can't pay it back, you could lose your home. Why? Because you're using your house, your safe zone, as collateral. And when you tap into your home equity to cover other debts, you're not actually eliminating the debt. You're just moving it around. It's like shifting weight from one shoulder to the other. It still weighs the same. Sure, the new loan might come with a lower interest rate, but that's only because the lender knows they can snatch your house if you default. So now folks are asking, why are Jay-Z and Beyonce moving money around like this?
What if I told you Beyonce and Jay-Z just took out a $57 million loan and they're billionaires? Oh yes, you heard that right. America's most powerful celebrity couple borrowed $57.75 million using their Bel Air mega mansion as collateral. But wait a minute, this isn't their first loan, is it? They already owe $52.8 million to Goldman Sachs from a previous deal, which means their total debt on that mansion, over $110 million. Now let me remind you, that estate was bought in 2017 for $80 million. And again in 2023, they casually dropped $200 million on another California property. So why all the loans? Because despite being billionaires on paper, they're considered cash poor, wealthy in assets, but they're borrowing to stay liquid. Beyonce is still on tour, fueling the empire. And what about Jay-Z? Quiet, strategic, maybe planning the next move. Luxury homes, monster loans, and billionaire hustle. Behind the glam, even the rich play the game to stay rich.
Let me explain why rich people love debt. They know that when you're able to borrow money at a lower interest rate than you could make by investing it, you're able to turn a profit and grow wealth. Let's run the numbers. Bey and Jay are borrowing $52.8 million at a 3.15% interest rate over 30 years. They're gonna end up paying roughly $29 million in interest, which is a lot, but by getting that loan, they freed up $52.8 million to invest. If they put that in a low-cost index fund that returns 8% annually over 30 years, they'll have made around $531 million. You can do this too. If you have student loans and they're at a low interest rate like 7% or lower, pay the minimum and put any extra cash into investments that will make 7% or more. Don't forget to follow. Stay rich.
Some are even tossing around heavy accusations, saying this kind of refinancing and juggling could possibly be tied to shady stuff like money laundering. Not saying that's what's happening, but when people see someone borrowing from one loan to cover another, the conspiracy theories start flying. Why are two billionaires making moves like they're cash-strapped? Social media is lighting up. People are throwing shots left and right, calling them broke, with one person saying, "Who's on tour for money now?" Jay-Z's got his wife out here risking her life in midair with the kids on stage every night just to keep it going. Others are saying, Jay-Z's about to crumble. Fans of Beyonce are clapping back, telling folks to keep it cute, but the chatter isn't dying down. To be fair, there are upsides to refinancing. It helps preserve liquidity, can bring tax deductions on interest payments, and even help dodge capital gains taxes by not selling other assets. So yeah, this could be part of a bigger wealth strategy, but on the flip side, it could also signal financial strain behind the scenes. And that's exactly why this whole situation has gone viral. Because even when you've got billions, money moves like these get people talking fast. Now, let's be real. This could just be a strategic money move, part of some high-level wealth management game plan. No one's saying Jay-Z and Beyonce are flat out broke, but it's definitely starting to look like their finances might be feeling tight. Refinancing can be smart, but it's also risky. And when you're worth billions, every risky move makes headlines. Where are the money experts at? We need accountants, wealth advisors, financial analysts. Drop in, because folks got questions. You can't just buy a $200 million Malibu mansion in straight cash and then turn around and borrow $110 million on your other place without raising a few eyebrows. Something's not adding up for a lot of people. And this story, it's gone viral for a reason. There's even a report out there claiming that Jay-Z got denied a $115 million loan and a $55 million line of credit. That's wild, if true. And don't forget Desiree Perez. She did say on video that Roc Nation was sitting on $40 million in debt not that long ago, and they only just got saved from sinking deeper. That clip resurfacing now is only adding more gas to the fire. Let's not ignore the legal drama either. Between the Busby situation, the Ramir claims, and all the legal fees piling up, Jay-Z's bank account might be getting squeezed more than we thought. It's not just about mortgages and tours, there's a whole financial storm brewing. People are even asking if this is the reason Beyonce's dropping back-to-back projects like Clockwork, Secret Music, fashion collabs, the new alcohol brand, and whatever else she's quietly launching. Some are saying she's basically carrying Roc Nation right now, the main moneymaker in the camp. She's on that hamster wheel non-stop while Jay holds down the legal fights and boardroom battles. So yeah, maybe this is all part of a long game, a strategic plan to move money in smarter ways. But with all these reports, legal hits, and big money headlines, folks can't help but wonder if this billionaire empire is starting to feel the pressure, running nonstop like she's stuck on a hamster wheel. That's what it's starting to look like. When you see moves like these being made, you have to ask, is this just smart financial strategy? Or is it a sign of something deeper going on? That's exactly why this story has blown up and gone viral. On the surface, refinancing and wealth management might sound routine, but when you connect the dots, it starts painting a much bigger picture. Look, no one's saying Jay-Z and Beyonce are flat out broke. That's a stretch. But something is off. These constant refinancing moves, they don't just pop up out of nowhere. It feels like the problems are stacking up behind the scenes, and fast. If this was just one random article and nothing else had been going on with them recently, then maybe, just maybe, you could chalk it up to regular money moves. But over the past 6 to 8 months, especially for Jay-Z, it's been nothing but issue after issue. Reports of a robbery, chaos at events, legal drama left and right. There's a new headline dropping every 2 weeks. It's giving the vibe that these money decisions are about more than strategy. They're about survival, about locking down assets, protecting every coin, and making sure their wealth doesn't slip through their fingers. This feels like moves made out of fear, like trying to stay one step ahead of something closing in. That might explain why Beyonce hasn't stopped grinding. That's probably why she's already gearing up for Act 3, possibly dropping a rock album next, followed by another tour, another launch, another show. She's working nonstop, 24/7, like she can't afford to slow down. And then there's that video. Yes, the one where Desiree Perez said with no hesitation that Roc Nation was $40 million in debt. She admitted they were on the brink of collapse. That kind of honesty doesn't come out unless the pressure was real. And if they were in that deep before, who's to say it didn't leave lasting damage? So, are these just normal moves by billionaires to manage their money better? Or is it deeper than that? Because when one thing after another keeps hitting and the money starts getting shuffled around like chess pieces, it definitely makes you think twice. So why wouldn't this be about protecting what they've built before it all slips through their fingers? Jay-Z might be looking at the bigger picture. Lawsuits piling up, more legal heat coming his way over the next few years, and millions already gone just trying to fight it all off. Some reports say he shelled out between $10 to $30 million just on legal battles alone. That's not just pocket change. That's a major hit, even for a billionaire. And let's not forget, he's already admitted that because of the Busby lawsuit, he lost out on $20 million. And some big lenders turned him down too. That's huge. When you've got lawsuits blocking deals and denying loans, it's no wonder he's making these money moves. It's not just about staying rich, it's about stopping the bleeding before it gets worse. Jay-Z might be trying to keep investors from backing out, trying to keep Roc Nation's reputation solid, and making sure the empire doesn't show any signs of cracking. There's so much happening around him, so many stories, headlines, and rumors that it's easy to see how all this links together. It starts looking less like a coincidence and more like a calculated move driven by pressure, fear, and a need to protect everything he's worked for. No, they're not broke, not by a long shot. But this definitely feels like a risky play to hold onto their wealth, not flex it. And that's what's got everyone watching so closely. And now the spotlight's turning to Beyonce herself. With all this financial smoke floating around, people are asking, how much of this weight is she really carrying? Some fans are starting to believe she's doing more than just performing. She's low-key holding up the whole Carter empire, from massive world tours to launching her new hair care line, dropping surprise albums, fashion collabs, and now a rumored rock album on the way. Beyonce hasn't taken a break in years, and it's not just about the art anymore. This is looking like hustle mode, full throttle. Insiders are whispering that Beyonce is the one keeping the cash flow alive right now, especially with all the legal setbacks Jay-Z's been facing. And while he deals with lawsuits, courtroom drama, and denied loans, she's been the consistent breadwinner, turning every stage and every brand drop into straight revenue, one major project after the next, like clockwork. Some folks think this nonstop grind might not just be passion, it might be pressure. With Roc Nation's money reportedly shaky just a couple years ago and legal fees draining tens of millions, fans are wondering if Beyonce's work ethic is part of a deeper survival plan. People are side-eyeing how she's always back at it with something new, like she can't afford to sit still for a minute. There's even talk that her appearances with the kids on stage, the flying stunts, the heavy choreography, all of it isn't just about spectacle. It's about keeping attention, keeping sales, and keeping the empire afloat. When Desiree Perez herself admitted they were $40 million in debt at one point, it shook the foundation. That type of transparency doesn't get dropped unless things were really tense. Now, all eyes are on the next moves. Will Beyonce slow down, or is Act 3 just the beginning of another money push? Because right now, it's looking like the pressure's not just in the headlines, it's in the house. And behind the flawless performances, there might be a billionaire household grinding hard just to stay above water. And while Beyonce's out here putting in work like a machine, fans are starting to question, where's Jay-Z in all this? Aside from the business suits and courtrooms, he's been unusually low-key. No big projects, no major moves, no tours, just whispers of legal chaos and financial rejections. Some people are even wondering if he's laying low on purpose, trying not to attract more attention while everything quietly unravels behind the scenes. It's got people talking. How is the man who once rapped about generational wealth now getting denied loans and stacking up mortgage debt? It's not matching up with the image they've carefully built over the years. And the fact that Beyonce is the one out here headlining tours, launching products, and giving fans new music while Jay-Z's been silent, that silence is loud right now. Even the media is starting to pick up on this imbalance. Why is one half of the power couple visibly grinding 24/7 while the other half is stuck in back-to-back legal battles and financing dramas? Fans have noticed that Beyonce is the face of every major move lately. And while that's not new, the pace she's working at is what's raising alarms. No superstar runs like this unless there's serious money at stake. And let's not ignore the strategic timing. Every time another lawsuit hits the news, a Beyonce drop isn't far behind. It's like clockwork. Scandal hits him, work drops from her. Whether it's a smart distraction or a financial lifeline, the pattern is impossible to miss. People are starting to believe that Beyonce's entire rollout schedule might be timed to cover up or counterbalance the pressure building behind Jay-Z's side of the empire. So now fans are wondering, how long can this go on? How long can Beyonce keep performing under all this pressure? Because even icons have limits. And if Jay-Z can't bounce back from all this financial heat soon, she might be the only thing standing between the Carter empire and a very public collapse. The pressure's real, and the cracks are starting to show. So with everything laid out, those massive mortgages, the endless lawsuits, denied loans, Beyonce's non-stop hustle, and Jay-Z's low-key silence, It's clear that something is going down behind the scenes. Whether it's a high-stakes financial strategy, damage control, or just the stress of empire maintenance, the Carters are moving differently. And the world is watching every step. Fans are debating, blogs are buzzing, and social media is in full meltdown mode over what's really going on. Are they just protecting the bag, or is there more pressure than they're letting on? Because when billionaires start playing defense, the rest of us notice. Beyonce might be keeping the lights on, but how long can she keep up this pace? And will Jay-Z be able to bounce back from all these financial hits before things spin out even more? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. And if this is how they move under pressure, just imagine what else is brewing behind those mansion walls. You already know the drama is going to keep unfolding, and we're here to break it all down, piece by piece. If you're into this kind of juicy, behind-the-scenes celebrity drama, don't forget to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Seriously, it's just one click, and it helps me keep bringing you all the wild updates the second they drop. And hey, don't go anywhere. The next video is already up on the screen, so go ahead and tap that to dive into even more explosive celebrity news and behind-the-curtain tea. I'll catch you there. See you on the next one.